From the floor of the CME Group, this is Danny Riley on this Tuesday, May 25th. You know, the markets took a beating overnight when a couple of headlines came out of South Korea that North Korea was upping its military stance. Come on through. That's all right, come on.
Sorry.
And there were more concerns about some of the banks in Spain not being able to pay back some of their debts. The euro concern is really front and foremost of what's going on here in the marketplace. And as we've all known, the euro's had a gigantic run up to the upside. I believe it went up to 150 and is back down toward the 122 level. Now behind me is the Chicago, ex-Chicago Board of Trade's old bond pit. This is the other side of this trade. People don't necessarily think about this all the time, but when people liquidate stock, that money generally has to go somewhere, and it's going right into the bond market at the Board of Trade here. The bonds are right now back up above the 125 handle, even with a 125.5 high. This is a big move for the bonds. Now we're going to go back to our spot here and talk about the spoofs. The S&P, when it's down 15 or 16 handles, maybe that works, because today it was down as much as 29 at one point, but by the time the market opened up, sold off and rallied back, right now we're only down 17 handles, which is a lot. It's still a fairly big amount of down move. But as far as the markets are concerned, you know, we're in a very, very jittery period right here. And it's really the big levels that we're continuing to watch and continuing to look at is the 1050 level. It's a very practical level, and it's an easy level to watch. And right now the S&P is 1053.80. We've already gone up through this level. Now, you know what? We're just desk guys. We take orders, we follow order flow, we try to take all that information and gather it up the best we can. But when it comes to the technical side, Tim has really been doing very well from top notch on his levels. When things get like this and they're so chaotic, he tends to be a lot better with this because he knows these levels, because he follows them all day long. He trades them, he looks at them, he feels them. You know, we on the other side, we've got to keep up with our instant message and a couple hundred people that are asking questions all the time. Big volumes that we do through the desk that make us kind of sometimes we get a little fuzzy off what we're seeing. But you know what? The markets are in trouble, okay? That doesn't mean that they can't rally. But right now, after all this back and fill motion that we've been talking about for a year and a half, that motion has turned into a sell the rally mode. And the problem with us is that we haven't really caught on that. The last couple of days, we've called for rallies that worked. Sometimes they were 10, 15, 20 handle rallies. But after they rallied, we, like dummies, thought that they would continue up, and then they sold off. Now today, Top Notch, who we think has been calling it pretty well, thinks that the markets will continue higher here. We don't know. You know what? The volumes are gigantic. The day started with about 700,000 minis, and right now we've got about 2.1 million minis, and for this time of the day, that's gigantic. That's about 1.4, 1.5 million.